Do you feel the vibes?
What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another video, and welcome to my NFL 2017 Week 11 recap between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Dallas Cowboys were at home. The Philadelphia Eagles, in a beatdown, ended up picking up the win 37-9. Now, the Cowboys in the first half, at the end of the first half, they went into the halftime with a 9-7 lead. Didn't really get a touchdown, but the defense was playing well. They only allowed 7 points in the first half. The second half, the Eagles scored on 3 possessions. They scored on their first 3 possessions and ended up getting a fumble recovery for a touchdown. So in that second half, the defense really took over for the Eagles, and the offense was really able to get some big plays. A big Jay Ajayi play. Brent Selleck was very important in that first drive at the beginning of the second half. But let's get into the numbers. Starting with the home team, Dak Prescott, 18 of 31, 145 yards, 3 picks. And a lot of it was pressure. The other was really good coverage by the Eagles, where a pass had to be put in a certain spot, and if it wasn't, because of pressure, it was going to get picked off. And you saw some errant throws because of pressure. No, and I'll say it right now. Byron Bell, was he as bad as he was in the Atlanta game? I hope he would hope he wouldn't be. He was historically bad in that game. Him and Chaz Green. But he was still bad. He gave up hurries. He gave up some hits. Dak Prescott was sacked 4 times, hit, I believe, 6 times, and hurried even more. So the pass protection from that left tackle position was horrendous. Getting into the Dallas rushing, Alfred Morris actually played well when they did run the ball, but because of the score in that second half, they really had to go away from it. Alfred Morris, 17 of 30, 91 yards. Of course, he didn't have a touchdown, but he had a 5.4 yards per carry average. He played well. It's just the score really eliminated the run game. Dak Prescott had a couple of carries, 10 yards. And so they still had a total team of 27 carries, 112 yards. But they couldn't run it as much as they wanted to because the passing offense was terrible. Looking at the receiving, these guys weren't able to get open throughout most of the game. You got to give a lot of credit to the Eagles defense. The secondary has been good all season. It's a big reason why they're 9-1. You're not going to be 9-1 unless your defense is playing amazing. And that secondary's played well. They played well in this game. Tight coverage, really nowhere to go with the football. And like I said earlier, if a throw was off by just a little bit, these corners were all over the receivers. Guys like Dez Bryant, he's just not that guy anymore. Jason Witten's not going to beat anyone. Terrence Williams, nope. And, these other receivers for Dallas just weren't able to create separation consistently. Combine that with the troubles on that offensive line, specifically at left tackle, these teams know it now. These teams are going to game plan. They're going to put their best pass rusher over there to really wear out Byron Bell. Tyron Smith, they need him so bad. But looking at Dallas receiving, Dez Bryant, 8 receptions, 63 yards. Terrence Williams, 4 receptions, 35. Butler, 2 receptions, 19. And Brown, 1 reception, 14. Everyone else didn't do anything. Jason Witten had 1 reception. Cole Beasley had 2 receptions. This is a guy that Dak Prescott kind of looks at for as a release valve. Wasn't able to get open. He's a really small guy. He's gonna get roughed up. He couldn't get open. You just go back and watch the footage. The coverage was incredible by the Eagles, especially in that second half. Even the first half, they didn't give up a touchdown throughout the game. They only gave up field goals. But Dallas did a solid job early on of moving the ball, but really weren't able to get into the end zone, and then started turning the ball over. Dak Prescott alone had 4 turnovers. Looking at the Dallas defense, you can see Sean Lee's absence is going to be huge and it was huge in this game. But there were many times in this game where they had Carson Wentz dead to rights. And this guy, he'll make a little move, make a guy miss, hit a guy down the field. That is demoralizing. There were multiple times you could look at this game where, it's really a broken play and Carson Wentz just makes something out of nothing. And, Cowboys were able to get pressure. I thought early on they played well. They were able to get pressure, force some errant throws. They weren't able to really get any, they didn't get any turnovers. I'm pretty sure they didn't get any turnovers in this game. They didn't sack Carson Wentz, but they did get some pressure. But he was pretty good when they did get pressure on him. Just in the way he moves. He's not a really fast guy, but for his size at 6'5", surprisingly quick, and has good feet in the pocket. You saw it in this game. Didn't matter who it was. Marcus Lawrence, he was making him miss. He's one of their best defensive linemen. He was making him miss. So I will say, the second half, the Cowboys weren't good. Like I said, they gave up 3 straight drives, 3 straight Eagles possessions for touchdowns. Gave up some big plays. A Jay Ajayi 71-yarder, which of course led to points. Zach Ertz comes off completely uncovered, gets a big 28-yard reception. They were giving up some big plays, and the offense didn't help him out really at all. Your defense already coming in is missing your anchor, your leader, a guy who, as I said before in the preview, when I predicted pretty much all the games, he's the guy who you look at the stats, it's night and day in terms of how that defense performs. But moving over to the Eagles side, Carson Wentz 14 of 27, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. The numbers aren't indicative of how he played. You look at the way he moved around in the pocket, throws he made on the move, accurate throws on the move, making some of the Cowboys' best defenders miss in the open field. This guy played really well, and the numbers really don't show it. He only had 168 yards passing. He had some short fields. The Cowboys did turn the ball over 4 times. Looking at the rushing, Jay Ajayi, 7 carries, 91 yards. He had a 71-yard. I spoke of that one. That, of course, led to a touchdown. LeGarrette Blount, 13 carries, 57 yards. Clement, 6 carries, 50 yards, and a touchdown. So, it's a whole running back by committee, and getting Jay Ajayi is going to be huge for them. They got 3 guys that they really like to run. Carson Wentz, 6 carries, 13, and Barner, 1 carry for 4 and a touchdown. So they had a total of 33 carries, 215 yards, and 2 touchdowns, an average of 6.5 carries. And the Jay Ajayi 71-yard run skews it a lot. Cowboys weren't that bad in terms of run defense, but giving up that big 71-yarder when you're trying to come back, and you just can't let stuff like that happen, especially when your offense isn't playing well. You got to go out there and get them stops. Looking at Philly's receiving, Alshon Jeffrey, 4 receptions, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Torrey Smith, 3 receptions, 28, and a touchdown. Brent Selleck, 1 reception, 28. Barner, 1 reception, 22. Jay Ajayi, 1 reception for 10. Zach Ertz, 2 receptions for 8. And that's pretty much it in terms of, he only completed 14 pass attempts for 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. Defensively, I talked highly of these guys. Going to the guys who had interceptions, Ronald Darby, Malcolm Jenkins, both had an interception. McLeod had an interception as well. But this defense is legit. The secondary was good. The secondary was really good. You go look at the coverage from pretty much. There's not one guy where you can point out and say, okay, he wasn't too good in coverage. Looking at that, all those guys were good in coverage. Yeah, some guys got beat every now and then, but for the most part, they were really good. And any errant throw by Prescott, any throw that he made was usually being challenged with a guy draped over, the receiver. So you have to give credit to that Eagles defense for the very poor play of the Cowboys. Now the Cowboys played bad against Atlanta, so you kind of expected them. Tyron Smith not playing, huge, because Dak Prescott got hit a lot. You have to give credit to the Eagles defense. The Eagles defense has been getting pressure on quarterbacks. They have been causing turnovers. They play a lot of man coverage, and with a pass rush like that, a bad throw is probably going to lead to an interception. Let's get into the team stats real quick. Time of possession, relatively close. The Cowboys 30 minutes, 31 seconds. Eagles 29 minutes, 29 seconds. Doesn't matter. The Cowboys didn't do anything with it but turn the ball over. Third down efficiency, Eagles 5 of 14. Cowboys 3 of 14. Both are neither very good. Eagles, of course, were better at that. Penalties, rather clean game. The Eagles 3 penalties, 30 yards. The Cowboys 2 penalties, 10. So it was a rather clean game. Red zone. Eagles made some mistakes. They had a missed field goal earlier, some drop passes. But once they cleaned it up, they really put their foot on the Cowboys' neck. And the Cowboys just weren't able to generate enough big plays. They weren't able to sustain a long drive. The turnovers don't help at all. Like I said, they had the 4 turnovers, 3 picks by Prescott, and the fumble, which of course the fumble led directly to a defensive touchdown for the Eagles. But looking at this Cowboys team, Tyron Smith, him being out is huge. It's clearly, for that offense, the biggest thing. Prescott's been getting hit a lot. He's gotten hit a lot in these last couple of games. And Byron Bell, I know this guy. He played as a Carolina Panther. He's a bum. You can't expect this guy to protect your quarterback. He couldn't protect Cam. So they got, hopefully Tyron Smith will be ready next week. Look and see who the Cowboys do play. The Cowboys play the Chargers. So hopefully you're going against Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa. You need Tyron Smith for Dak Prescott's safety. You need him healthy. And, looking at the Eagles side, the Eagles had Chicago to play the Bears. Bears just coming off really tough, 2 tough losses to division rivals. Of course, the Packers and the Detroit Lions. But they're looking really good on defense. Cowboys, Zeke's suspended. It's going to be tough. The NFC East, the NFC as a whole is really good. You go look at the standings. The Cowboys, the way they're playing, the injuries, Sean Lee out on defense. Zeke, of course, is suspended. Trouble at left tackle. I just don't see this team making the playoffs. They got to really do something in terms of wide receiver, because they got some guys getting older. Terrence Williams, yeah, he's good. He makes plays, but he also makes some really dumb ones. Des Bryant, long in the tooth. It's going to get to a point where you're going to have to get a number 1 receiver. Des is still good, but he's not a number 1 receiver anymore. But let me know what you think down in the comment section, Cowboys fans. This is the game you wanted me to recap. I had a feeling it was going to be a beatdown. Now, the first half gave me some hope that, yes, this is going to be a good game. But the second half, all that was gone. But like I said, let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.